Good afternoon. My name is Nico House, host of the political radio show Mi Casa es Su Casa, and I urge you all to join our One Follow, $1 campaign, where we support all of our independent journalists, or your favorite independent journalists, by donating $1 for every follow that they have, because we rely on them to give us the objective and unmitigated truth, and that is important. Journalists, especially independent journalists, they sacrifice time, money, careers in the future potentially to bring you all what we need, and that is the truth that is based on facts and nothing else. At minimum, it's not based on corporate narrative. So go out and support your favorite your favorite independent journalists. Go to their Patreon and just donate $1, just to let them know, hey, I appreciate you and I appreciate what you do, and also, just to let them know that you make a statement to the mainstream media and the established media that we don't need them anymore. All right. So with that being said, interesting news that has came across my desk earlier today. More so, it's the timeline. And of course, we can take this for what it will, but in a flurry of tweets, Donald Trump tweeted that a bunch of people at the G-20 conference have been asking about Podesta. And I think that's pretty interesting, because this was actually before Trump and Putin sat down. So when I read the tweet initially, and when I read the articles about the tweet initially, I thought, well, of course he's going to tweet that. That would make perfect sense. He wants to stir up the pot a little bit. But it was actually before that. And Podesta's response wasn't really that good. Podesta said, maybe you should worry about Russia and, instead of being a loony president or something to that extent. It's not really that important. He was talking about how he was on a trip with his wife and, out in the country, and this loon president tweeted me. But here's what's interesting. He's trying to claim that Russia hacked he said that in the tweet, that he's still trying to claim that Russia hacked his emails. And then, he's also, if you don't know, if you haven't been watching, Podesta's also been claiming that he has nothing to do with the DNC, and he doesn't understand how he could ask the DNC to relinquish the emails or relinquish the servers. That's nonsense. So here's the deal. For those of you who don't know, this was one of Hillary Clinton's chief campaign advisors. This was the chief advisor to Barack Hussein Obama during his last half of his term. And as a person who was emailing back and forth with members of the DNC and those of the Democratic Party, you can't tell me, if you were that invested in making sure that Russia was being held accountable, that Trump was going to be held accountable, that Putin was going to be held accountable, if you don't know this, then you don't know politics. If anybody has the clout to tell the DNC, to tell Debbie Wasserman Schultz, to tell Tom Perez or Donna Brazile to hand over those servers to make sure that the FBI, the CIA, the NSA, and whoever has the ability to do the job and do it correctly, then you don't know. If he really wanted to do it, if there was something to be found, he would have turned it over. It's easy. It's too easy. The only reason you don't turn it over, or the only reason you don't go on record, because they always say, well, Trump needs to come on TV and totally deny the allegations. Well, why doesn't Podesta go on television and say with absolute certainty, I am going to give you the service because I want to see if Trump is actually guilty? He's never done that, even though the FBI has officially requested it, and there's a huge petition out right now, but the DNC has refused. So if they're it seems like they're not concerned about holding people accountable, then now does it? What it seems like, quite possibly, is that they're trying to ride this story out for as long as humanly possible. Even though we just saw today, James Clapper came out and said there was absolutely no evidence. If you go to Google right now and type in James Clapper, they give you a whole nother spiel about how horrific they took some of his comments and talk about what he did, and Russiagate was compared to Watergate and things like that. Even though we know for a fact that there's proof of Watergate, there's absolutely no proof of Russiagate. The story is nonsense. The ability that they're trying to say Putin has, I don't think any politician on earth has. Like, to hack an election at literally every single level, from emails to vote rigging and bot, like, come on, man. Come on. And if, like I said, Podesta had $45,000 in a Kremlin-backed company, energy company called Jules. Not $45,000, excuse me, 45,000 shares that he didn't disclose in a Kremlin-backed energy company called Juul, where the Kremlin, it started off small when Podesta first got involved. The Kremlin pumped $35 million into this company. And you're trying to tell me that as far as money and oil and things like that are concerned, Putin would have rather had Trump than Hillary, even though Hillary sold him 20% of our uranium before Clinton went over and gave a speech for over $500,000. Come on. It's a narrative of convenience. If you haven't realized that by now, you need to go read something, please. Jesus Christ, it's too easy. It's easy to see it. If you don't want to see it at this point, it's because you don't know how you want to deal with or rationalize your anger towards Trump. And I'm not saying there isn't a right to be angry at him for other reasons, perhaps his rhetoric maybe, or you're trying to understand, you're confusing your anger at the Republican Congress and what they're doing and trying to equate everything that they're doing to Trump, which I see quite often. Trump does stupid things, but the Congress is a Congress, the president is the executive, and the judicial system is the judicial system. So we can't do that. We have to take, unfortunately, actions in a vacuum. We compare and we criticize and critique when necessary. We have to celebrate when necessary or when it calls for it. And we move on. But we haven't been doing that. We've been dwelling and dwelling and dwelling. We can't talk about our issues because we keep dwelling on this Russia nonsense to the point where, and I know for me personally, I think a lot of this has to do with the fact that single payer is on the table. They know that Bernie Sanders is introducing it. He announced in May that he was introducing a single payer bill. The Republicans haven't been able to fix their bill, but they're still talking about repealing Obamacare. The establishment Dems are getting paid insane amount of money to ensure that single payer doesn't get enacted. So trust me when I say this, the establishment Dems would be much happier with whatever the Republicans come up with than single payer, because that means they lose a lot of money. Okay? So trust me when I say they're distracting you, not from a little bit, but from a lot. And that needs to be understood. So with that being said, once again, I urge you all to follow our $1 campaign. Go to somebody's Patreon, make a statement, say that I will support the truth because I have to go to you to get it, and that's okay. I'm going to support that. Stop putting your money into this mainstream media that keep trying to brainwash, and they're pretty much destroying the world with rhetoric, and it's getting kind of scary. So with that being said, always remember, find your balance.